opening up to the Rift. We are in game and underway for the first game of this best of three.
And I'm stoked for it. I want to see what these teams are going to come out with. We've been talking about the draft so much, and both teams have a high quality draft. What I want to see here now is, do teams have level ones prepared for the playoffs? We saw a lot of 5 points, a lot of just defensive staple openers out of teams during the play-ins. So now, do they have something in mind? And it looks like that's the case, as FaZe Zookeeper leads the way into the top lane.
Yeah, it looks like they might run into Sion here. Sion just checking the bush, and the ward going down for the side of TTV. They get things started here. Now continuing the invade into the jungle. Earlier today, we saw a few invades from the side of ALG, although they all ended up with players backing off. Interesting to see here how they continue the push into the top jungle, but eventually just backing off. And now on the other side of the map, you see ASX, pardon me, invading the bot side as they place a ward onto Rengar's red buff.
And I kind of find it curious here that the Maokai is the person warding the red buff on the top side of the map. Typically what you do is have your jungler place that first ward, immediately recall, and then pick up a sweeper in the base. What this does is enable your jungler to make an aggressive invade, clear out wards immediately because he's more mobile on the map. However, it looks like there is something in mind, as Lily has a pink ward in his inventory instead of a second potion on that jungle item, or instead of a refillable potion. So likely something going on here. They have a play in mind.
Yeah, for sure. Using that extra gold to buy the sweeper, not something you see every day. So interesting. It's going to be interesting to see how they use it.
Yeah, and I like this out of JO here, leashing both the blue buff and Gromp at the same time. You see a lot of professional junglers do this. It just makes your clear that much faster. And on a champion like Lilia that already has such great jungle clear, you're not worried about the health loss. So just makes you a little bit faster on the map, which this Lilia needs to do, as I'm thinking Rengar is going to invade on the red buff.
Yeah, with that ward up, it's going to be very scary for Lilia to take a red buff, as Rengar definitely has like the better hyper early game with all that damage coming out. Taking a quick peek at the runes being taken here, I think everything's standard, although Rengar going Conqueror. Does that mean that he might be going a little bit more of a bruiser build compared to completely blow up one-shot Rengar that we're used to seeing?
It's tough to say. Normally, I would say it's a bruiser build coming out as a result of that. But with the Lulu on his team, he could still go full assassin and just think, all right, the Lulu's going to give me defensive stats, so the Conqueror will be able to kick in as a result. In the mid lane here, best girl, Toshaka, maybe, who knows, is really trading well onto the Rumble here. I like that, not being too scared of the pick, seeing something a little bit less standard coming out here from FaZe Zookeeper. And similarly on the bot side of the map, just something to highlight, this is not a fasting Senna, so not quite optimizing the pick to the full potential, but still not a bad choice.
Yeah, not at all. And so remind us again, what's the difference between a fasting Senna or a standard Senna build?
So a fasting Senna is when the support player is the person taking all the farm in the lane, and the Senna is basically acting as a support. The purpose of this is that if the support player is getting all the farm, and then the Senna gets a bunch of gold and auto attack range from the soul she picks up because her support is farming, then it's basically like having 1.75 instead of 1.5 champions in the bottom lane. Instead here, though, the Senna is going to just be farming. She's going to get more gold, but she's going to have a harder time stacking up her souls, getting less.
And now Lilia going right in onto the Lilia. The Lilia missing the flash over, and now flashing through his Rengar, able to get the cube, jumping out of the bush. Lilia able to get the first kill of the game, invading Lilia into her jungle. Now they're hooking from Thresh and able to eat both players back. The Ignite going out onto Varus, and now the exhaust as well as he tries to flash away. Polymorph is the Thresh as Varus is just narrowly not getting out. And look at the shields coming on. He's not dead yet. Flash coming out from Thresh, as now Lilia re-engaging as well as the Rumble going into the bot lane, and that flame is going to blow up Thresh as a number of trades going back and forth. Finally, Lulu taking a tower shot before she backs out, and that's 2 kills on the board from TTV.
Oh, and it's so tragic. The bottom lane of ASX burns all their summoner spells, thinking they have the 2 versus 2 kill in the sights, but the shields come out. The bottom, or the jungler and mid lane, are there for the roam because they've killed the Lilia in jungle, so they're able to respond immediately, and it just goes, everything goes wrong for ASX. So close. They are hurting after that one.
Yeah, it looked like a pretty good engage by Thresh there. He was able to get the hook, able to get the E. Varus was getting really, really low. Almost went down if it wasn't for the shields from Lulu. But then all of the sudden, the roam comes through from Rumble, and the kitty cat was where he needed to be on time. And it just spelled disaster for it, the side of ASX.
Yeah, and now this Rengar is in prime snowball position. This is the stuff you have nightmares about in your solo queue games, right? The enemy jungler Rengar, he solo invades your jungler, gets the kill. He's now in a position to just completely take over the map. And Lilia is going to need so much support from laners that don't have that much pressure in their individual matchups. It's tank versus tank top lane. It's kind of an even push fest in the middle lane. So what that means is if it's left to an isolated 1 versus 1, the jungle, the Rengar is just going to have such an advantage over Lilia.
Yeah, and as Thresh roams up towards the mid lane, we're going to get a look at the hook there. Throwing a whole lot of damage onto that Rumble. Love the roam up from Thresh. And right after that, we're going to do a quick time check just to make sure we're all on pace. So just so production knows, I'm at 610, 611, 612, 613. And we'll adjust that as soon as possible. Looks like I am 1 second ahead. So I'm just going to call out the pause. 3, 2, 1, pause. 1 play. And now I'm 23, 24, 25. Hopefully we're all set there as we just narrowly avoided a fight in the bot lane.
And now it looks like the side of ASX is going to go for this early dragon. Quite surprising considering the early kills that have happened onto their jungler. JO has died to the Rengar. In theory, there should be much more bottom lane pressure and strength coming out of the side of TTV. But thanks to some quality map rotations, it looks like this is going to go into the hands of ASX. Although, as I say that, the Rumble is roaming. They need to finish this dragon before a big fight starts.
Yeah, they get it down low enough. And now the ultimate coming out from Rumble into the entire team. Rumble getting a double kill with the ultimate onto Thresh and Lilia. Orianna now rotating up. She has to be careful getting polymorphed by Lulu and the damage coming on from Varus. A nice heal from Senate to disengage there. And Rumble with a huge double kill. We'll trade Dragon for that any day of the week. Now Sion coming through, able to get the shutdown onto Rumble. Didn't even notice that ultimate coming all the way from top lane. A great rotate down from Sion, but still a one fight by the side of TTV.
Yeah, you'll take that all day. It's only the first dragon of the map. I mean, it's not like you're in a position to lose the soul off of it. And really curiously, JO did not have smite there. I thought he would have been fine. Just smite the dragon at the end, get it no problem, get the heal from it as a result too. So he's not going to die to that equalizer, but the smite is down. He's only level 4, just gets absolutely melted. But that is a huge shutdown onto Sion, which could spell disaster for the side of TTV. When Sion gets ahead, he is an unkillable monster. And with champions like Rengar and Rumble being the Fed members on the side of TTV, champions much better at killing squishies, this Sion could really take over the match.
Yeah, I mean, at least it is an AD and AP combination of Fed champion, so a little bit harder to itemize against as Sion. But at the end of the day, you're right. That's not who you want the shutdown going on if you're TTV.
Yeah, but now the question is, how does the Lilia get back in the game? She is not even level 6 right now. While that whole fight went down in the bottom half of the map, the Rengar took the race and red buff, I believe, of the Lilia. I may be wrong there. It looks like the red buff could be up as a hook lands onto Lulu, but there could be more happening.
Now the polymorph going into Lulu. Thresh having to flash away as Rengar hopping out of the bush, able to land the cage on him, and Thresh is down as that cat keeps going. Lulu actually grabbing the kill there. Unfortunate for TTV, but still a kill nonetheless. And Lilia is kind of stuck in the bot side jungle and gets spotted up by a ward now as Rumble is rotating down, trying to stop the back from Lilia. And there she goes, trying to take the blast cone over and now re-engaging onto the Lilia. She's not able to land the Q, and so the speed does not increase. Now Rengar ult onto the Lilia, and Orianna has to know she's there, and the Rumble all coming out. And where did she go, everybody? That cat just took her down, and now re-engaging onto the Orianna in the mid lane as she flashes away. Not going to be enough. A double kill from Rengar in the mid lane as he absolutely blew up that Lilia.
Yeah, just not respecting the damage that can come out of that champion. The equalizer comes down. I would have liked to see Lilia flash immediately, but instead thinks, oh yeah, there's no way I'm going to die here. No, you have just vanished in a millisecond. That is Rengar. He is coming in invisible and one-shotting your champions. So you have to be on the lookout for that one. You can't disrespect this champion. What a beautiful hook.
Gosh, that hook from Thresh, and you just see all the damage that goes onto Lilia into a nice lantern. Thresh has been hitting some nice hooks all game. Unfortunate that he's down 0-3-1.
Yeah, it's tough. I mean, he's been put in some tough spots. The jungler was there as he went to clear a ward when he didn't have any support from his own side. He's been in a couple compromised positions. He got splattered by that equalizer at the dragon fight initially. So falling behind here, but not out of the lane. As you can see, Senna actually up farm, hasn't died herself. So a few deaths on your support is no big deal if it means your carry is still in the match.
Yeah, definitely still in the match. Probably even a gold advantage over the Varus, as she does have a slightly more CS, but with the tower plates, I believe it's pretty much evened up, if not Varus is ahead slightly. And now invading the jungle is Rengar, but running into a support. You did not expect to see Thresh there as he's hopping over the wall, just trying to go over to Lilia. Lilia flashing right away, but now he's stuck between four members of the side of TTV. Sion going on him, trying to jump over the wall. The Q's going to land into the Orianna ulti. He's somehow still alive here as he heals up a lot, and now just trying to run away, avoiding the Sion ultimate, going under turret. Oh no, but finally going to go down to the Orianna as Rumble and Maokai rotating up as well, but a little bit too late, just mispositioning there from Rengar.
I'm loving the roams out of Soyanist. Oh, these names are tough. Got to give me a translation guide out here or something. But I'm loving the roams out of this Thresh here, being dynamic on the map. He knows, hey, you know what? My carry is doing fine the bot lane. He's nearly one-shotting the Lilia under tower. So, I mean, I can roam around the map. I need to protect my jungler who's getting snowballed on by this Rengar, and their team collapses so effectively, and they get a huge shutdown onto the Orianna. This is going to accelerate their ability power carry so aggressively. It means this Orianna can have a huge impact in the late game.
Yeah, and a good timing on the kill too, as drag will be up in 15 seconds, and it'll allow them a little bit more opportunity to get two dragons. If that kill didn't go down, I think it would have just been an absolute free dragon from the side of TTV. But before that happens, they give themselves a shot at it.
Yeah, and I'm thinking that the Sion is going to be looking to teleport onto this dragon. So I think in a perfect world, ASX is not going to pressure it as soon as it's up. They're going to try and wait it out slightly, get the Sion ultimate back, get the Orianna ultimate back, have the Sion teleport available. And when that happens, they have a great chance to win the 5 versus 5. Yes, there's a lot of one-shot potential because of Rengar on the side of TTV. But if you can protect someone, or even if they do get one shot, you can win the resulting team fight afterwards. You're in this game. You can turn it around.
Yeah, for sure. So all eyes will be on Dragon as soon as that fight starts around. And now with Rengar as well as Lulu going in there, it looks like TTV has just started Dragon. So potentially looking for a teleport down from Sion or Maokai.
I think they're going to opt not to pressure it here. I mean, no one is just in position. They won't be here in time on the map. They got the first dragon, so it's not a big deal to lose the second. It's not like they're being aggressively pressured for the dragon soul. A nice little trade coming in from the Maokai, pushing the Sion into his sapling, get that little bit of percent health damage because of it being in the brush. But still, the Sion is thriving in that matchup as a fight happens in the jungle.
Yeah, look at this fight over blue buff. Thresh having to alt flash out as Rengar is putting everything into this blue buff and able to grab it. Now jumping out of the bush onto Thresh. Where did his HP go? And now an equalizer coming out from Rumble, and Varus with the Q just sticking her between a rock and a hard place as Lilia and Thresh go down. TTV continuing their dominance in this game.
Yeah, and a little bit of indecision, it seems like, at the side of ASX. They weren't sure if they wanted to fight that or not. The Thresh kept going in and out, trying to bait something, maybe looking for hooks. But meanwhile, his Lilia was on the run. Orianna was not trying to make that fight happen. So a little bit of miscommunication, perhaps. And those are the things that are going to get this game out of your control. That Varus picks up another kill for himself there onto the Lilia. He's getting stacked up. He's already got his mythic item. And now on his next back, I bet he'll have his upgraded boots and some components for his next piece. He's getting very strong on the map. I hope that TTV looks to apply this pressure now onto the Rift Herald.
Yeah, TTV with a clear lead here. They've got a turret. They've got a 4.1k gold lead. What does ASX have to do to try to bring this one back?
I think they need to be more decisive about their options on the map. You know that this Rengar is super strong. You know that the Rumble is super strong. So avoid them if you can. Fight when they're across the map. Put some wards in the jungle. See where Rengar is invading, and then attack the other side of the map as they're doing
Oh,
right here onto
nice hook
Lulu.
landed by Thresh, and that is likely going to be the end of Lulu's life, but not if she's able to alt flash away, just turning herself into a tank. Good job to disengage by Lulu there, but a nice hook by Thresh as well. Now an ulti coming into the top lane as Rengar's jumping out of a bush, and Sion opting to ulti away, but Maokai able to get the stun onto Sion as he has to go away.
Yeah, it doesn't result in much. I mean, it blows the flash of the sign, it blows the ultimate, so an overall net gain out of the side of TTV. But if you're ASX, you're happy with that, right? You're not getting this Rengar any more gold. The one strong person you have on the map that is winning their lane isn't being pushed further behind and falling behind, so you still have a pressure point on the map, and I'm hoping to see them use this pressure point. Now, as TTV stacks up around the Rift Herald, will ASX respond?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, you're seeing in that top side jungle, all players on the map just taking that. Last fight happened around Lilia's blue buff. And so just a tough time all around for the jungle of ASX as the entire team of TTV is working together to make sure that she can have very, very limited farm. And she's already super down.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a useless Lily at this point. Let's just call it what it is. I mean, other than the ultimate ability, having that crowd control with the sleep, it's not like this champion is doing anything. There's not enough damage to be a threat on carries, and it's not tanky enough to survive the Rengar one-shot. So really just not a strong pick here currently as a Rift Herald is dropped mid lane and a fight happens on the bottom side.
And now the teleport coming in from Sion as he's trying to go towards the bot lane and completely getting blown up. Orianna's still alive, but the ultimate's going to end up taking him down. Now Sion re-engaging onto the mid laner here as FaZe Zookeeper is just trying to get out of there alive. Sion doing a whole lot of damage, but not a whole lot of kills as Rumble is taking that Orianna for a 1-for-0.
Yeah, and I mean, best girl Toshaka running away there, running away from the teleport when Sion doesn't have ultimate. It's not like he can quickly gap close there. So I would have liked to see the Orianna try to kite it out around the teleport. Let the Sion be there to support you throughout the fight. Flash behind the Rumble or something so you're not in that flame spitter. But instead, it's a clean 1-for-0. FaZe Zookeeper continuing to push this lead.
A Zookeeper just going crazy so far. 4-1-3. Every single ultimate that he's cast has either been a kill or led to a kill. So great utilization of his ultimate so far.
Yeah, now Lilia up here in the top lane, going to soak a little bit of farm, but I mean, really, you hate to see this if you are on the side of ASX because you would much rather that be going to the Orianna or to the Sion and Lilia farming the jungle camps, but there's just none to farm. Rengar has been abusing her in the jungle. She is not in a position to even sort of survive the 1-versus-1, so instead, just slowly bleeding gold off of that disadvantage.
Rengar has gotten the last 4 buffs that were up, both from his side and both from the other side, not allowing any red or blue buff or on the side of ASX. Now with the dragon up in 6 seconds, you can see TTV grouping up around to try to get their second Drake.
Yeah, and Orianna is in the top side here, but she does have teleport. The big question for me is whether ASX pulls the trigger and actually tries to fight around this dragon. I wouldn't hate the call to just leave Orianna in the top lane and slowly whittle down this tower. It's only the second dragon. It's not a huge loss if it goes over to the side of TTV, and getting gold back by getting the turret would be a big advantage.
Look at this, 4 players up in the top line now. Maokai has to be careful. A lot of players going on him, ends up getting drowsied by the Lilia, able to flash underneath turret with 4 players in the top line. Maokai is just going to run away, allow his team to get dragon, and an interesting roam up from ASX.
I like the idea. The execution wasn't quite there. Some crowd control missed. The Senna root as well as the Thresh hook didn't connect, so they're not able to secure the kill. But this is a good play from ASX. They know they can't fight around the dragon. They're just simply not strong enough at this point in the game. So instead they say, screw the dragon. Let's not have anyone there. We'll full commit to the top side of the map as Sion is forced to ultimate out here thanks to the root from Varus. They full commit to the top side of the map there. They get the tower. As a result, some gold in their pockets and a small edge to get them back into the game.
It looks like the members of the side of TTV are just going to opt for a reset here. They like how the last 5 minutes have gone. If they can just grab some items and try to repeat it, that's going to be the name of the game continuing.
Absolutely. And I want to take a minute here to highlight this build from the Rengar. He has gone for the Gore Drinker instead of an assassin item like the Duskblade or the Eclipse. So to me, this signifies that it will indeed be some sort of Bruiser Rengar build, as you were highlighting earlier, taking the Conqueror, although some more lethality coming in here could potentially go towards a Collector, could be towards that Knight's Veil, so he can block a spell on that engage before Lulu pops the knock up, the ultimate on him. So this is going to be a bit more of a Bruiser Rengar build, which personally I'm not a fan of. I think it scales horribly, but it's the call he's made in this game, and he does have some extra support to keep him alive for longer.
I also guess at this point in the game, if you're 3-1-3, if you have the most gold in the game other than your ADC, I mean, you can really build anything you want at this point. Bruiser not being an awful option, but as you said, maybe not the most optimal, as 3 players from TTV collapse to try to grab this top tower.
And they're going to get it scot-free. I mean, there's nothing really that can be done here either side of ASX. No one in the top side of the map. Instead, Lilia and Orianna have been pressuring the bot side, picking up that tower for themselves. So not a horrible trade, but instead TTV are going to start Baron here. 2 members on the bot side of the map. They don't think this can be messed with.
No, I think they might have spotted Lily on the bot side of the map, just knowing that they can go for this. They have a lot more damage than the other team, so I really like this call. You can see the deep blue wards on the top side of the map coming out from TTV, so a great job to grab it, and a very, very quick Baron for how early in the game. It is 21 minutes into the game, and they just shredded that thing.
Yeah, and the side of ASX had no idea it was happening. There wasn't a single ping on that Baron. Finally, Thresh at the very end going to toss a ward after the map has been dark for so long, but it's just way too little too late. If you even had 2, maybe 3 members there to poke a little bit, you could push them off that Baron at this point in the game, but that lack of awareness punishes them, and now TTV in a stranglehold position. I want to see at least 2 turrets off of this Baron buff.
Yeah, getting a Baron this early when there's so many turrets up is so key. And now Azanya's coming out from Orianna as the Maokai engages into the team. And a nice Maokai ulti as well, comboed with the Thresh ulti. Nobody going down yet. And everybody getting slowed down by that Thresh ulti into the Orianna ulti. But now the Equalizer coming through and the ulti flash forward from the Rumble. And look at the damage coming through, just doing a lot of damage. And the Drowsy going through onto the Rumble sign, going down as well, as the Varus is putting on a lot of damage into everybody on the team. Lily just trying to do something to get out of there. And Lily Ryan coming over the bush to smack that horse down. And it's a team ace from TTV. They're going to get a whole lot more than 1 or 2 towers here.
It's a 5-for-0 ace at that. I would not be surprised to see them get an inhibitor back and get a second. Really just an overextension out of the Orianna there, seeing an angle onto the Varus, but not respecting that his teammates could be behind, has to blow the stopwatch immediately and then flash afterwards. It was a nice shockwave onto 4, but there just isn't the damage at this point in the game. They're too far behind, and they're trying to engage onto 2 tanky members. There wasn't enough follow-up. It's not like they have an assassin or a jungler to threaten some damage after the Orianna shockwave. So sure, the Orianna shockwave catches everyone, but the Rumble Equalizer responds immediately, and that's doing a whole heck of a lot more damage.
Oh, for sure. The ultimates on the side of ASX were just being used defensively. The Thresh ultimate just trying to slow down every member on the team, and the Shockwave trying to put the final nail in the coffin to keep them off their backs, but they just kept marching forward. A nice ultimate from Lulu onto Rumble allowed Rumble to flash in and just do so much damage to everybody, as well as the fact that Rengar hadn't been spotted yet. So when he ulties forward and the fight goes into the jungle where there's so many bushes for him to hop around in, it doesn't matter how far away you go, because that cat's going to catch you.
Yeah, and we saw it on the second half of the fight, right? The Lilia just getting popped as a result. The sleep not doing a whole heck of a lot of anything. From Lilia here, being in this very far back position, I would have liked to see an itemization change. Sure, you get the percent health damage that Leandri's does, and that's something that doesn't require any sort of gold to scale. But you know what else doesn't require gold to scale? A Moonstone Renewer. This is a game where you could transition into that supportive item. I mean, you're doing magic damage, so you can proc it so effortlessly. Your bleed continues for so long, right? So as a result, you could be keeping the Scion alive for much longer. You could be keeping your carries alive for longer. Play the fight slower, as now some aggression coming out in the jungle from TTV.
TTV doing a lot of damage onto the Thresh here. Thresh hook actually hitting the Rengar, but popping the spell shield that he's got in that Knight's Vow, I believe, to make sure that he doesn't get popped. A nice hook by Thresh. Unfortunately, it's on the Maokai, so not able to engage off that. But still, you know, showing how he can land skill shots just the same as everybody else and continuing to throw those wild hooks over the wall of the rift. Love to see it.
Looking for anything at this point, right? I mean, you can get a little bit of poke onto somebody with the Orianna, with this Senna, if you land that hook. But I mean, it's just a desperation attempt at this point. We can see the super minions are in the base of ASX.
Oh, and now Maokai behind them. Gonna ulti under turret into a 4-man tower dive. Nice equalizer doing a lot of damage. The Orianna ulti's not going to do much now. Rotating forward. Varus with the triple kill as he continues to put on damage, and that's the Quadra. Can he grab it here? That's a Varus pentakill. TTV taking this one in style.
Oh, you love to see it. The flank with Maokai, that's the biggest weakness on this champion. The ultimate moves so slowly, but he finds the angle where you can't outrun it. No matter how slow it's going, the Rumble equalizer follows up to chunk people out, and Varus cleans house. He's coming in with the true damage auto attacks. He's coming in with the execute arrows, and TTV is coming in with game one in style. 20-4, taking down ASX.
And that's, again, as you said, going to be game number one. A